I got Mike with me today. We're going to be going over the Lifetime pipe boot. This is the ultimate one. This is not something I had in my last video, so I'm super excited that I not only get to review it today, but also get to review it with a rep. So if you want to just kind of introduce yourself and then tell me how long you've been working with this company.
I'm Mike, work with Lifetime Tool. I'm the rep here in Georgia and Tennessee for about 2 years now. Been in the roofing industry for about 19 years altogether.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very cool. So got a lot more product knowledge than me than I would say the least. So, and then this comes in different colors, correct?
Right now we have a dark bronze and a stainless steel. The stainless steel is more for the marine grade and harsh weather environments on the coastlines. Those are really only for, East Coast, West Coast. But
okay.
Right now we have dark bronze. It blends in really well with the black shingle. You only see about a 1/4 inch cut around here and a little bit down here. So when it's 2 to 3 stories up in there, blends in really well with black.
I don't think I've seen shingle so far, because this is predominantly what y'all sell on this market though, right? The dark bronze?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've seen it on charcoal shingles, so black. I've seen it on lighter shingles, and it's very hardly noticeable. One thing I really like about this product too, because I'm going to reference my last video to where I was head over heels about the bullet boot, I did end up finding a couple bit of problems. Not saying we need to go tear the old ones off, because yes, I did install this on my roof, but last year I went through an insurance claim because of a hailstorm. I actually had my roof replaced, and I ended up tearing these off. And what happened was I have a 4-inch pipe boot on my home. So I didn't have a 4-inch one of these available, but we did have 4 inches of these. So this is what I ended up putting on my house, and I'm super happy with the way it looks. One of the big things my installers brought up to me after we started doing a few of these bullet boots is, as you can see, the base flashing is just a lot smaller on this, so it's harder to get that coverage. And while this does work on a 12-12, the higher up it goes, the more you're having to stretch it and bend it, and you don't get a very good overlap on the shingle below it, which in my opinion has the potential, we haven't seen it, but has the potential to have wind-driven rain issues later on. Versus if you compare it to this pipe boot, I mean, good Lord, what is it? 4 inches coming off the front? And then
3 inches right here and 4 inches on the two sides and 6 inches up the roof. So no water will ever go back up through it. And speaking of the pitch, where ours just does the pitch, when you slide it over, it does the pitch for you on its own. You don't have to adjust it or make sure it's straight on yourself. You just do it yourself and it goes down.
Perfect. And then also one thing to know too that I really like about this, because this is more of a full silicone material that has to be stretched and pulled to make sure it doesn't buckle, you have to run nails through the face of this. Versus this, which is okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of pipe boots are installed that way, but this product you don't. As you can see, there's no nail holes here. So you're only having to nail in where the metal's already prepped for nails for the installation, which means less probability for leaks.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing as a roofer. I always talk to people, no exposed nails, because a lot of times when they nail in the corner right here, this nail is really going to leak worse than when a normal pipe boot deteriorates, because all the water is building up from the roof and going to go down, and depending on which way the wind's blowing it, it will blow it underneath and go down through the nail hole right there. So my biggest thing is never needing exposed nails or screws on this one at all.
And now you are going to have to be a roofer when it comes to installing this product, because this is per pipe boot size, correct? You have to measure if it's 1.5 inches, a 2, a 3, which is where we want to get rid of a lot of the crappy ones that you see that are openly available at Home Depot, meaning your cheap plastic ones. A lot of roofers install this because they're essentially dummy proof. You take a razor blade to it, cut it to any size, slip it over, face nail it, and you're done, which is why a lot of installers like it. But that means as a roofing contractor, if you can't eyeball it yet, which takes almost years in my opinion, you're doing a few hundred roofs, you have to take your tape measure, slide it across the opening of the PVC pipe, and the true diameter that you're looking for is the inside measurement to make sure you order the correct size pipe boots.
Yes, sir. We are size specific. What I always tell people, if something fits everything, really it fits nothing. And when they do cut those universal ones, a lot of times they cut it too much and they just have to seal it up with caulking. And so our pipe boot, caulking or silicone sealant never needs to go on it anywhere ever, since we're such a tight fit as well.
And one thing that's pretty unique about this product too that is really important to mention as far as the installation go, This ring does pop off, but it's super important not to lose it because it has to be, correct me if I'm wrong, installed with it already on it as you're bringing it down the pipe.
Yes, sir. So it has to be installed right there before you slide it down the pipe. We have a little cloth. You just take the cloth out, lube the pipe up, put a little bit in here, and you slide it down right over top right there. But this compression ring, it is very important. So PVC, when it goes from cold to hot or hot to cold, it expands and contracts, just moves a little bit. And so this always moves with it, always keeping a tight seal. So whatever pipe direction it goes, this moves with it.
All right. And then I want to touch on probably what I assume is your biggest competitor, which came out a few years ago, which ironically is, I swear, as soon as I started talking about this and then seeing this is when this entered my market. This is GAF's pivot boot. Mike, you actually did bring up a very interesting point earlier that I had never even considered, which is, and to my knowledge, they're trying to fix this, but the inside of this is not painted. And as you can guess, because it's metal and you're going from hot to cold, it can actually condensate and eventually rust out that piece inside, which ultimately is not probably going to happen super quick, but it is definitely something to consider when you're going to install this product.
Yes, sir. In my opinion, I just don't like how it encloses the whole pipe. Mm-hmm. You're literally reducing the size of the pipe flow in half. And so for me, maybe when hot air is coming up through, depending on the time of year or their ventilation in their attic, if it hits the top of here, might drip back down. Homeowners could think it's a roof leak. Anytime water goes in the house, people think it's just a water leak issue, but it could be many things as long as condensation and not proper attic ventilation. So I just don't like how these ones enclose the full pipe and you're reducing the size of the flow.
To be fair, I think aesthetically, it's kind of preference what looks better versus other ones. But I don't think I've ever heard of an issue to where bugs or anything is like actually getting inside. I think it is just a good marketing point to have some kind of screen or something that encloses it. One thing to note too with these ones that enclose it is you can imagine this is a fixed distance. So if you're going up on a home with a PVC pipe that's 14 inches tall, or God forbid a cast iron pipe on a much older home, you're going to have to cut that pipe to put this or to put this product on the roof. So that's something you also may want to consider from a roofing contractor standpoint of what you're going to need. Make sure you're having the right tools for your laborers to actually install these products on the roof. One thing I did want to touch on that a lot of people are probably going to ask is, so price point, right? Because obviously that's going to play a big factor. I think it's a no-brainer. It's usually not a big upcharge to go from the cheap plastic ones to a product like this. Yes, it may be 8-10 times more expensive, but you're still staying well under $100. And when these products break down, it can cost you hundreds, if not thousands, depending on when you're actually able to notice the leak.
Yes, sir. It's going to be about in the $60 range, depending on who you buy from, but it could be anywhere between, $50 to $65 you buy from them. And then you're giving them a completely maintenance-free pipe boot. And like you said about the price, these roofing jobs are so expensive. There's only a couple pipes that go through the roof. So added in a couple $100, it's not even going to be really noticeable when you're doing 30, 40 square roof,
Right. And ideally, everybody says 30-year shingles, you got a lifetime warranty and all that. In my market in Georgia, heavy rains, hot suns, a good life for an architectural shingles, that 20 to 25-year mark, and those plastic boots just don't last that long. Something like this is actually going to last the distance of the roof. So I don't know if you're like me, but if I'm spending $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 on a project, I want something up there that's going to last the lifespan of the roof. And then I imagine as far as price-wise, that's going to be pretty comparable to probably the pivot boot. I know these are a little bit cheaper. I think these are more in like the $25 range. And then also, I don't have it in front of me, there's another product called a Perma Boot that's also kind of an in-between product. But again, that's another encapsulating of the pipe boot. So again, you're going to have to factor in cutting and all that, where this, you're saving a little bit of time. And then you can always touch up the PVC with spray paint to make it match.
100%. The Perma Boot still has plastic, some neoprene in it. That's what breaks down from the sun. Our collar, it's 100% silicone. It's made from the same silica that people put around the windows in the high-rises of Dubai, just completely maintenance-free. The sun is never going to dry rot it out, never going to put holes in it or deteriorate it. So there's absolutely zero rubber neoprene in ours.
And then to my knowledge, this is in pretty much all your suppliers.
Oh yes, all of them. Your major suppliers carry it in stock. We just sell through distribution. We don't sell direct to the roofers.
Okay,
We like to sell it through distribution.
that's fair enough.
Yeah. So then the roofers, when they're buying their material, they just can get it ordered at the same time, delivered at the same time, paying them. So you're not splitting everything up and confusing of we just spend more money here and there. Just all the same distributor. They take care of the logistics of it pretty much.
Okay, and then I know you said you cover Georgia and Tennessee, but this is still available pretty much across the U.S.
Yes, sir. I just have Georgia and Tennessee as my territory, but we ship all across the U.S. Anywhere, Canada, some spots in Mexico as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And then, is there anything else we should probably cover that I didn't ask or that we didn't go over about the product?
I think we pretty much covered it all. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just you put it up compared to these other ones, and you can see how much wider it is. This is actually a 3-inch one, and this is a 2-inch one, and we're bigger than that. So usually if something's 3 inches compared to the 2, it would be bigger, but for ours, it's not. We're a little bit wider all the way around. The silicone completely maintenance free.
Aesthetically, I like the low profile on it. That is one thing I guess I didn't mention in a lot of depth is just the aesthetic appearance. This is definitely going to be a lot more bulky. This is a 3-inch, so these are both 3-inch pipes are comparable, but this 4-inch, it is pretty obnoxious, I won't lie. It's like a little cannon on your roof, so that's also something you just may want to consider when you're getting a new roof. Aesthetically, how it's going to look above function and everything. I think all these products are going to be a good product, but also making sure it's something you're okay with depending on, how visible, if you have a corner house, where the pipe boots are kind of on the home as well.
I always like my penetrations looking nice and matching. I can't stand when somebody puts on a lead pipe boot and a black square vent and leaves their B vent, the furnace vent rusted out. Making everything the same colorway, even if you need to get a couple cans of spray paint, that can be the difference in making a roof look beautiful to mediocre.
I agree. Well, hey, Mike, I really appreciate your time today.
Yes,
thanks for taking the time out to kind of review everything with me.
No, thank you for having me there. This is awesome, man.